Is this working? Testing. Travis, what's going on? Welcome. So I'm trying something new today. I am also streaming on Twitch. So we'll see how this goes. You never know how it's gonna pan out. Also, green screen. Julia, how you doing? Delart, I'm going well. How you doing? All right. Nishella, so excited I made it live. Bloody excited to have you. Okay, so I don't think technically I can show the chat if I'm multi-streaming to Twitch, because we're going to have both YouTube and Twitch. So we shall experiment. Green screen upgrade. I know, right? I know. APE, what's going on? Welcome back. Akalawan, welcome, welcome. We've got the coffees. We've got the energy. I'm keen for this stream. So yeah, just giving it a whirl on Twitch at the same time. Unfortunately, I'm not game enough to test my internet on also going to Instagram. So Instagram is going to have to take a bit of a backseat just for this experiment. Oh, and we've got green screen issues. I, of all people, should not be messing around with technical shit. Well, I should be, but based on the stream's technical issue history, probably not the best idea, but we're doing it. What's on the agenda? So, I was perusing Facebook and I saw this. And I was like, that's some cool lighting. I also have a bit of a connection to baseball. I used to play baseball a lot back in the day. So and then I started to just sketch this guy. And then I had a bit of fun in Clip Studio as well, kind of doing that. So I was thinking, I was just going to start off with some warm-ups, right? Do some warm-ups, have a bit of fun, do a bit of study, and then finish. We may or may not finish it, but I want to throw some color and do some color experiments and figure out why this, or how the lighting works, basically, but on a stylized character. So we might clean up the line work here a little bit, go through some experimentation, and then maybe just even do some thumbnail, like some smaller thumbnails. That's something I want to get into the habit of, is doing some smaller thumbnails and testing things out on a smaller scale before committing to larger things. Lana, how you doing? Prashan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Bloody great job on the light box. Love the monkeys. Tyler, welcome. Okay. So I don't even know if Twitch is even bloody working. We'll see. We've got one viewer on Twitch. Oh my Lanta. Stress me out. Okay. Hello, one viewer. Welcome. I hope you have a great time. All right. I'm just sorting myself out here. Getting all my ducks in a row. Okay. All right. right, stream chat, bada bing, bada boom. All right, let's go. Enough fluffing about. We're going to go straight into some sketching. I've been keeping up with the traditional practice, right? Keeping up with the traditional practice, and it is helping my line work phenomenally. I highly, highly recommend, if you're not already, getting a felt tip pen, a brush pen, whatever, and just daily, even just a little bit, just start getting a sketchbook together, and a shitty sketchbook at that. Not thinking that it needs to be the bloody perfect thing that you're going to post to Instagram or whatever. It doesn't have to be that by any stretch of the imagination. So I am going to be playing around with flat flowy brush. Unfortunately, it's not quite available just yet. It will be very soon. I'm gonna give it for free. Just have a bit of fun with it. You know what I mean? It's just a brush. Like, you could probably make it yourself if I'm honest. So it's nothing that I've spent a whole lot of time on. A colorway and thumbnails and color keys are so useful. Yeah. APE, heck yeah, I want to see more action from the Filthy plugin. There is going to be a lot more action from the Filthy plugin. By the way, how is your doggo? Yeah, Ollie, he's okay. Is probably, I don't know, I'm just going to do some little warm-ups here, just with some heads that I found on Pinterest. Feel free to, I think my Pinterest is linked. It's under the expressions pin board. I think that's what it's called. So, yeah, so Ollie's got, what is it? Congenital heart failure. So he's been living with it for ages. And yeah, he just has bouts of it not going too well. And it just so happened right before the Lightbox stream, he had a little bout of it not going too well. So I had to rush him up to the vet. And he's doing okay. He's doing all right. All right. Now, with these as well, I want to set myself a little challenge. Maybe I'm just gonna have some fun. Fuck it. No challenges right now. Let's just have a bit of fun. I appreciate it, Lana. Thank you. You and me both. I bloody love that little dude. I am going to throw some shapes around. Honestly, I'm just gonna whip some little shapes around, see what we can get just by having a bit of fun. Now, the cool thing, what I'm seeing here, we could really exaggerate this, like the neck being super, super long, going all the way back here. Also, what do you reckon of the new setup? I don't know. I've been watching a lot of other streamers and trying to get some ideas. To make me a little bit smaller, so I appreciate it, Prashan. But yeah, terrible timing. I was really looking forward to the Lightbox stream. I'll have to rewatch it again when I've got a moment. Right, so what I'm doing here is just finding those 2D shapes first, and then trying to like wedge them into a 3D form. For example, quick little example. Oh, also I finished that fighter illustration as well. That was a relief to get done, if I'm honest, but it was a good bit of fun. I think I'm going to be posting a few more simpler things. That's why I kind of wanted to do this guy, like just from a style perspective, not spend like a month of Sundays, bloody rendering my little ass off. It's fun to do and it's a fantastic exercise, but it takes it out of me. So I'm going to try and do some, faster isn't the describing word that I would like to use for it necessarily, but different style than the fully rendered, painted kind of thing. And I say that, and then I'll probably get on a little roll and end up rendering the shit out of something. So you never know. We'll see. But yeah, so what I was saying with the 2D shape, so with the nose in particular, right? We could start off with this like 2D shape. I'm just looking at his nose and just going boom, boom. I've got to get out of this habit of just like Control-C, Control-C, Control-C. Got to stop it. So we've got this 2D shape here. Okay, but then I want to kind of wedge it. It's a good, like I've heard a few people mention like Bridgman. I can't remember his first name, but like Bridgman with his anatomy and stuff, like wedging shapes together and all that kind of thing. So I kind of want to wedge that into the larger mass of the face and kind of convert it from a 2D to a semi 3D kind of object, if that makes any sense at all. Who knows? We're just warming up, getting started. Okay, but yeah, given the old Twitch a go, I like from what I've seen on Twitch, just like the platform, I like the interactability with the Twitch chat. There's like a lot more to do. That could be a detriment as well. I don't know yet. That's why we're going to be playing around with the experimentation of things. And for those that are streamers as well and want to give it a shot, I'm using a free plugin by ATM. Not sponsored. It's called Multi-Stream, I think. Just Google that and you'll be set. So particularly with the eye here, I kind of want to set it inside the socket. So that looks a little bit more natural. How is it more interactive? It just feels like even the, like you can do a lot more things like with polls and interactivity with the stream itself. So like I could write some code that I could have like 4 reference image options, and then Twitch chat, I could hook into the Twitch API, get Twitch chat's responses. You may be able to do it with YouTube, I don't know, but it seems more reasonable to do with Twitch, at least from what I've seen. I could hook into that and then get the top reference votes, and then that's the one it picks. And there can be like all this fun interactive stuff. Just want to make it a little, I don't know, I honestly don't know what I want. I'm just trying it out. And we still got one user. And if I'm honest, I think it's me. I think I'm the one user. I'm the one viewer because I'm looking at it to see the stream chat. Oh, how sad. Taco Force, I've been working on getting streaming going, but having some stability issues. Yeah, I had to upgrade my my internet to make it work particularly like the multi-streaming, even to like Instagram and stuff. It's, yeah, pretty taxing on the old internet and the machine as well. I can go watch you on Twitch if you like. Okay, Calvin, you're going to be the only one. You're going to be lonely. Catch you later, Lana. Have a great Christmas. I appreciate the kind words. You have a good one, yeah? So with this guy here, I'm going to try and find this skull. Oh, Lana, yes, you did. What you did is you accidentally signed up to the development thing. Sign up to the website itself. Things will be fixed. Don't worry. Julia Kin. We got the first time chat in Twitch. Look at that. Julia. We're going, and it's, you know what? Prashan. Oh, my Lanta. We've got 2 in chat. That's great. So the viewer count on Twitch is very not correct, because it still says only one viewer. So yeah. Taco first. I actually couldn't figure out how to get a link to my stream to post it. That shouldn't be too difficult. I guess it all depends on where you're streaming from. So now I'm going to give myself a little challenge of finding the skull underneath here, right? I'm going to have a bit of fun and seeing the reasons why I've made some of these decisions, okay? Why is the eye here? Well, it's because it's sitting inside a socket. Even at this stylized stage, right? There are at least 2 people watching you on Twitch. Oh, fantastic. I love it. Might be a me thing, but I can't see the video. What? You can't see the video? I can see the video. Let me refresh. Well, that's a bit shit, isn't it? I can't even see the bloody... What? Okay, so multi-stream needs some tweaking. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Well, that's why no one bloody is watching. Maybe. No clue what's going on. You know what? Let's just keep it to the old faithful. I tried something. It failed. Okay? Thank you for those that popped into Twitch chat. Yeah, I got to test this in an off regular stream time. I should really do more of that. More testing. More testing off of the usual stream time. So let's just go back to Instagram. Give me uno momento and we'll be back to it. But what I'm doing here, if you follow on along, I'm going to try it from memory and find the skull. So that's going to be a little challenge. Stylized art study. Bum, bum, bum. Public. Let's go copy the URL, whip it in here, and away we go. Do your thing. No, didn't like that. Let's give this one a whirl. Yep, it liked that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is trying to find the bony parts. Okay, bony parts first. Of course, because it's a skull. But it is kind of tricky, right? And I recommend, if this is very tricky for you, getting a reference up of a skull. But I'm doing a little a little challenge for myself. Okay, so all right, we're back. Technical difficulties over. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. Instagram, how we doing? The Art of Black, welcome. So now I'm trying to find. It's that this is incorrect. This is incorrect here, because this needs to dip down at least to there, where the bottom of that nose is going to be. And then we're going to find the teeth. Get a little bit of this thing here. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But this, you got the eye, the sockets. Then you got this thing here that comes back. I'm doing a bloody YouTube video on it right now. I should know the name. But that goes to show that you don't really need to know the names of the things to draw them. You just got to remember the shapes, if that's your goal. The Art of Black. I haven't watched your stream in a while. Buddy, welcome back. Great to have you. Now the skull is going to be a little bit on the stylized side of things. Cheekbone, let's call it mandibles. No, cheekbone, let's just call it the cheekbone. That works. Zygomatic arch, that's the one. Desert Dark Woodcraft, bloody legend. Thank you. The zygomatic arch, if we're getting all fancy with it, is what I'm trying to find here. And one little thing with the jaw as well. This little line right here is very helpful because it kind of I'm doing it stylized, so it's not anatomically like 1,000 million bajillion percent correct. But this little, when I talk about things like being in front and behind, GeoFFC, thank you very much. When I think about things being in front and behind of other things, for example, like this, the zygomatic arch being in front of the jaw here, or the mandibles, there are kind of things that are connected to one another that can be in front of one another at the same time. I don't even know if that makes any sense. How do I? So we need we need a skull. I don't know how to say it. I need to show it. Skull images. Let's have a look. So what I'm talking about is, where's a clear? These are all kind of like blown out. What am I looking for? Yeah, this thing, this kind of thing right here. Sometimes it like tracks down all the way to the chip, or I like to do that. This is a casting that. Oh, give me a bloody real skull. Come on. Let's go boneclones.com. Bone Clones is great. I really like this website, and it's where I will eventually spend a lot of money. Human anatomy, skulls. Yeah, like this thing is what I'm talking about. Hurry up. I guess it kind of looks very similar. But like this kind of line here. Oh, can I use... Is it like... what is it called? What is it called? Draw... No... what's the app that I've downloaded where I can draw on the screen? It's not Photoshop. It's... this is the key point. The reason why I got the bloody thing. Screen brush. Open it. Here we go. So this thing here, look at that. I'm drawing over on the top of the... Oh, how do I get rid of it now? Okay, hold on. Oh my land. Give me uno momento. Okay. Let's get it here for bloody Instagram. So here, this is the thing I'm talking about. This I like, or I have been bringing this line through. I guess this is a rhythm. You could call it a rhythm. If you want to call it a rhythm, you call it a rhythm. But this is kind of like a rhythm that's in front of the tooth, or like the lower tooth cylinder, if that makes any sense at all. So if we get the side view, like here you can see that like tiny little crossover. Super helpful. Whoa, and you got auto fade as well. How fancy is that? Right, so you got that kind of, this is coming down here, and then this is that T section, or that T intersection, to show something is in front and behind. It's super clear here with the the arch, the cheekbone arch thing here is in front of the jaw, T intersect. This one, a lot more subtle, but still a bit of a T intersection. You know what I mean? All that to say, I draw a line on the jaw. Hopefully that makes sense. To give it more dimension. Nice, I use screen brush on stream. Like an achievement unlocked. Art Girl, the way you said anatomy sounded very French. Did it? Anatomy. Anatomy. Anatomy? I don't know how I say anatomy. Anatomy. I do not know. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. All just to say that this is what this line is here. And this is more just for my really like solidifying some of these things that I've been working on, which is hopefully helpful. All right, so now we're finding the skull, and then we've got, if we were to do this properly, that neck is bloody long, right? Super long, because we've stylized it. But we can ground some of these ideas, even though they're stylized, I like to at least ground them in some form of reality. It's that sort of cross between the two worlds. And then even throwing the eyeball in here, you know. That's what gives me structure. There's going to be a whole YouTube video about this coming out soon. But yeah, cool. Fun one. This guy. Next. I liked his eye. So I'm going to try and give that a... Come on. Give that a whirl. But first I might even elongate his head just because I feel like it. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Massive ears all the way in the background there. very sharp features. Very like, I wouldn't say harsh. I guess, I mean, the scar on his eye and the eye itself is pretty harsh, but it's not like he's got super like high cheekbones or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just rambling at the moment. So trying to find some of these shapes, a little bit of the hair, how that would fit in here. Stay 7, appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for popping in. So even at this sort of early stage, I'm thinking about form at least a little bit. I'm going back and forth between 2D and 3D, even with this sort of more stylized kind of vibe to this stuff, right? Flipping the old canvas around. He looks like a bloody elephant. And I like it. Now, double checking that you guys can see the stream on YouTube, because that Twitch not showing anything is giving me stream anxiety. I'm assuming so. Or I'm just talking to myself here. Now, some really deep creases around the nose. All right, which gives it a little bit of character. So I'm picking and choosing the elements of his face that I'm going to like push and pull. I'm not going into all the nitty gritty little details of all the little bloody creases and stuff. Kaylin, thank you very much. F-Max, how you doing? Odson, when drawing in paper, at certain points, two of my fingers move to Control S, move it. Yo, that was the scariest part. When I was really focused, as I started to do more focused work in traditional, the Control Z, my hand is like eternally in this position, just blip, blip. Or even when I was doing like a lot of iPad work, just like tapping the paper. Goes to show habits. They can affect us for sure. Now the thing that can kind of make this guy look a little bit more on the menacing side is his lower lid. Like the upper lid is sitting lower on the eyeball, so it's kind of like, when I draw it, you'll know what I mean. And he's kind of looking up at us. I'm going to make him look at us a little bit. Does that make sense? I mean, this eye is kind of looking very, that could make it feel a little bit more unsettling as well if the eye is kind of like off a little bit. This one's, his good eye is looking at us. And then honestly, I don't know who this guy is. So I don't know if this is a character from a movie or this is a real dude. So I'm not going to talk any shit. My apologies. Calloway, I might have possible pinch to zoom paper after working in Procreate and then briefly one. You like pinch to zoom and then like move your head in. I sometimes, yes. Macon Rudser. Macon Rudser. My apologies. Yeah, double tapping the pen. Yeah, because I have that on the pencil. Bloody nightmare. One more time, Jill. I don't know what that means. I'll give you one more chance. Joe Minji Holic. How you doing? Great to have you. So this could also be what feels a little bit unsettling, is like this eye is kind of looking off. He's kind of taking a bit of a lunch break and slacking a little bit. And this guy, I don't know if this is a character. I don't know this fella. My deepest apologies. I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to start saying stuff. But this one's looking off this way. It is what it is. All right, and even just a little bit of that raising of the brow can make it look a little bit like, oof. And then the mouth is open, like ever so slightly. And you got that bottom lip. Carrots, how you doing? Shin Min, welcome. Great to have you. Oh, I'm missing music for myself. I'm deliberately testing no music with these streams for a little while, just to see how you guys like it. Is it better? Does it lack what's the word? Ambiance? I don't know. So we're testing it out for a little bit. I'm going to whip on some music for myself. Hopefully it doesn't fuck anything up with the stream. Fingers crossed. And then we're going to try and find the skull of this guy as well, just for like fun. I reckon that'd be cool. Where is you? Yep, that's working. I don't hear anything. That's a shame. Bum, 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 bum. Bluetooth, connect, and we're back. May you give me... Keep watching, my friend. I'm saying all the tips. All right. So what I might do is just knock this guy back a little bit. Got a bit of a darker color to emulate maybe like a brush pen kind of thing. I have been playing around with Clip Studio as well, which has been a lot of fun. Their brush, actually I'm going to open it, because their brush engine is freaking cool. So I'm going to, I was messing around with it yesterday. The only annoying thing is trying to copy stuff from Photoshop to Clip Studio. Does not work. So I've got to do a cheeky little save to the old ping. Late 13. Oh, of course you want to put yourself on a new bloody thing. And you're tiny. But that's fine. So for those that use Clip Studio, I've been playing around with the, what were they called? Mameo brushes. All right, they're really good at like emulating like traditional pen stuff. It's pretty cool. Mayo brushes, that's right. File, open and choose the PSD file. Yeah, see, I haven't saved it. It's on cloud. Appreciate it, S-Ink. But yeah, these Mameo brushes are wicked. They're very cool. Like it, depending on how fast you do it, it like pools at different sections, you know. So then I can still kind of get practice in with semi-traditional feeling kind of stuff, which is very, very cool. But my experience with Clip Studio when they're shortcuts is lacking, to say the least. All right, so now I'm kind of trying to follow a little bit of that initial sketch, but I'm not trying to go 100%. Because this guy's kind of like a menacing looking fella, I'm not too concerned about the unevenness of the eyes, you know? And these brushes can be bloody tricky in a good way. Raffaello, welcome. I'm studying with your amazing material. Thank you, but I'm stuck on details like semi-realism, strange field. Any tips for cartoon? You're kind of in that like uncanny valley-ish. I know what you're talking about. Simplification is the key. The details work when they're on top of a solid foundation of simplification. Like here, I could take this, just as an example, as detailed as I want. Or I could keep it very simplified. And if I'm honest, I don't quite like the look of how it's going at the moment. So we'll just imagine it's looking pretty cool, okay? But simple, like without seeing your work, simplification first. You've probably heard this. You kind of already know this, I'm sure. Simplification first is going to help you in the long run. In the long run, say, for example, of like in any particular drawing. Because you can take that to a certain level, like as far as you want. If you start with the details and get really nitty gritty in the details, you kind of carve that path down, and it's just a little bit harder to get out of, if that makes sense. So the simpler the shapes you can start with. Oh, the set's falling apart. Come on. Okay. Simpler you can do stuff, the better off you'll be. No worries, Raffaello. Thank you for popping in. So this guy, oh, gold. So yeah, I'm terrible with the shortcuts in bloody Clip Studio. So he's got like this scar thing going on. How do you even flip the canvas? View. Rotate, flip. Flip horizontal is Shift Z. That is... It's actually quite nice. It's just right there. That's cool. Now, oftentimes I like to just have a little bit, particularly when I've gone off of off of using the reference, I tend to do things that aren't like directly head on. Just for this one, I'm kind of skewing towards that a little bit. So I want to make sure that maybe even the ear here is just a little bit shorter, or there's like less distance here than here, if that makes sense. Chewy, how you doing? HK Artworks, welcome. The nose part is really challenging for me, especially the front position. Yeah, what on earth? Now we're throwing bloody petals everywhere. Okay. Yeah, the front nose is tricky for me as well. One way that I like to tackle the front positions of anything is to indicate the 3D form through these like little whisper lines here, just to show that there's an edge. That can just like a little indicate, or just what I've already done here, just that indication of form helps me out a ton. And whether it stays like that or not, completely up to you. But yeah, adding a bit of indication of form can help a lot. HK Artworks, I appreciate you. Okay, let's rein the ears in just a tad, just a smidge. And this brush is great because it's like I can really whip it around and it will kind of like act the way that I want it to. And I think there's more efficient ways of like filling in these, like the big, like the darker shapes, I'm sure, but this is what we're working with right now. It keeps looking kind of flat. Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things. Once you get the hang of it, it'll start to click. It comes down to the box, right? If we just drew this shape here, it kind of looks a little bit flat. Maybe not so much because we can kind of fill in the details a little bit with our brain because it looks like a cube, right? Or even this, like again, like even this shape here. What is it? Is like, we don't really know necessarily, but if we just start adding a little bit of details, right, a little bit of that form, this could then be a nose. You know what I mean? So it's just these little inner lines tend to help me show the form a little bit. What stabilization is your brush set to right now? 10 on Clip Studio. I don't entirely know what that means. It's not 10%, but it just says 10. I'm really not familiar with Clip Studio. Who's this guy? I think he is. It's super late in the UK, so I've got to go, but I love your streams. I appreciate you. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate the work. No, again, thank you so much for popping in. This is good fun for me. Okay. So I'm gonna add this kind of Yeah, see, I'm actually not liking the look of how this is at the moment, but that's fine. Because I kind of went completely off script from the reference. That could be a reason why. And then I started to use a tool that I'm not familiar with. Makes sense. Just got a new tablet, PS user for ages, and I'm trying to get along with Clip Studio, but I'm missing the Photoshop brushes dynamic so bad. Yeah, nah, I feel ya. Eduardo, what's happening? See, this is just something to get used to, right? I guess. Is all the little the little things that annoy you, that you work around. I'm pretty sure I can do this and then use it as an eraser. Yes, I do remember that. And then whoop, back we go with that ear. Sick. Nice. Now where's our reference gone? I made him look a lot younger. Maybe we just whip this back into Photoshop, something I'm a little bit more comfortable with. It's fun to maybe even get like the base of... There we go. Just the base of the... idea with those nice brushes. I just really enjoy the brush engine. And then we can come back through, maybe square off the head a little bit, you know. David does it. Nice one. Blossom Blair. Yeah, I understood what stabilization was. It's just stabilization, say, like in Photoshop is called smoothing. Where in Clip Studio it's called stabilization, and they don't scale the same. Like smoothing is either 100% or 0%. I appreciate the clarification. I'm being a little bit tame with this one. Not a fan. Not a fan. You know what? Let us see. This is what can happen sometimes if I work too close to the reference. I'm still not as like out there as I want to be with some of these shapes. So let's see what we can do. Let me make the eyes. What happens if we do the eyes even bigger? And this is where style reference could come in handy. Whip it down. Get some shape in there. No, it looks silly. That just kind of looks ridiculous. Now, I don't think his eyes are angry necessarily. They're just kind of, or like the brows in particular, let's say. Let's even simplify that nose a little bit more. Get that scar going. What if his mouth was like, nah. So you just put the mouth like a little too high and he looks kind of like, hello. So what if we went the opposite way and had the lip like right down here? Kind of changes the whole look of him, but it's all you don't know it until you try it. Iterate. Give yourself opportunities to try different things. I mean, he definitely looks creepier. Is the grayscale important, F-Max? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Cool, so it looks creepier. That's for damn sure. Now I'm getting stuck on this character. Let's not get stuck. I don't want to get stuck. He kind of looks like Herman Munster. Yeah, he does. He does. Let's... And here. Now I could spend another whole stream just on this guy because he is not necessarily looking how I want him to, but the thing is also I don't know what I want him to look like. Cool, like how like sometimes it's like, does it look cool? If not, try again, I guess. His iris is too big. That could be it. They're a little bit Wrong. Art collaborative. I am not a robot, okay? That's not a great way to start the chat. Yeah, nah. That's odd. Yeah, Raffaele, it's just a matter of getting used to it, you know. Art collaborativa. Very bot-like behavior, my friend. Put a horse emoji in it if you're not a bot. Yeah, no. Ah, well, what are you going to do? I'm trying to be a little bit... Maybe I've got to stay zoomed out. I reckon that's why I'm doing it too much. I'm going like... Woo, 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 woo. Too much zooming in and out. That could be a big issue. I'm trying to find those 3D shapes. Nah. Not a fan. Ghost, what's up? Samuel, thanks for the feedback on Twitter. No worries, Ghost. Samuel, great to have you. Stevens. More emotion. He does look like a Bond villain. All right, last pass. See if we can get something that kind of looks a little cool. You know, I'm just going to find the skull. I want to find the skull. Let's just find the skull. Mel Oliveira, how you doing? Happy holidays. Stop it. Your payment. You got your PayPal? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me your PayPal for your work there in chat. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's find that. Now we're looking on top of this dude's head, right? So we're going to be looking downwards. Navy Man 1191. Hey Ben, new to your channel. I like your art style. Thank you very much. What kind of tablet are you using? I'm using a 32-inch Cintiq Pro. So looking down, so my mental model at the moment in simplicity land is this. Okay, this is kind of the thing I'm thinking about. I'm seeing more of the top of the head, ideally, which is where I could be going wrong with a bit of the perspective. It's kind of weird. He's like hunched over, but he's looking like that. So, yeah. Anyway, this is what I'm going for. trying to find the holes of the sockets. And these are good little indicators as well. These little brow thingamajigs. The little indentations. Then we go back to the zygomatic arch, where we might not, where we saw a lot of the side here, we're not going to see anywhere near as much as that. So they're going to be foreshortened. So this is what I'll also start doing in like my traditional, like in my sketchbook. Just break things down just for me. Like, doesn't necessarily need to look pretty. I just need to understand what's going on, you know. Now a lot of this, like all this, is going to be like squishy stuff, right? We're going to keep the focus on the bones, right? What's going on underneath. So I'm trying to do it from memory as well, just to sort of flex that muscle. So because we're kind of looking a little bit down, that top jaw is going to be swooping down a little bit. That bottom jaw, we're going to see a little bit of that. I just find this fun. Anatomy is fascinating to me. Ah, good call, Rafaela. I've never tried hue on stuff, so I can't say personally. Lad, how you doing? Excellent show for drawing my final Christmas orders. Legend. Nah, appreciate you popping in, lad. Or lud. Lad. My apologies. All right, let's knock this back again. Yeah, there's something about, I just really enjoy anatomy. Like figuring it out. It's just a big bloody puzzle. And I've tilted his head down, right? His head's not as tilted down, that's fine. So let's see if we can refine some of these little lines. Now, ideally, not ideally, you can choose to do whatever you do what you want, right? It would be a smarter idea to have reference open, which we can do. Or did I close that? No, I think I closed. Oh no, we're here. So what's going to be the most helpful? Probably something along the lines of this. The 3/4 nice. I might see if they got a different one. Yeah, this one is better. But it is interesting. You go through and you see the different ethnicities, how this skull actually changes, like a lot. That's a nice little one. Not like the other one wasn't. But just for our purposes, it's like at a slight 3/4. Gives us some stuff to work with, some stuff that I might not have imagined just off the top of my head. Like these little thingamabobs. Whatever they are. I couldn't tell you what they are. Alright. Now these We don't want to draw the eyes here or the sockets as if we're looking front on, right? Because that would be more square, and now it looks like he's got glasses. What I'm trying to think of is the wrapping lines are like, imagine, like around this, okay, like kind of the cylinders of that shape here. And where are we looking at this thing? We're looking on top, right? So we're going to be seeing a lot more things that are on top than on the bottom or front on. So that's going to dictate a lot of how we're observing things and how they appear. There's going to be foreshortening. So even on the smaller scale, you might get all the larger shapes, right? Maybe the head's tilted down and this kind of thing. And this is one thing, because I've been doing a lot of study with Kim Jung-gi's stuff, and it's the small details that, not to say that going into details is the be all and end all, but it's the little things that he does. It's understanding that, okay, if we're looking on top of this nose here, well, that's going to be foreshortened, so it's not going to be as triangular necessarily. It's going to be splayed out a little bit. It's going to be shorter. The distance here is going to be foreshortened because we're looking down on it. If we thought about it as like a triangle, right? And then we've got like a triangle. I don't even know what you'd call that. A triangle, a 3D triangle. I don't even know what you'd call it, right? So this, you're looking at it front on, then you're looking at it at 3/4, and then you're looking at it on top. You're going to be seeing this, like this height is going to be shorter here. Hopefully this makes sense. And that's what I'm thinking about here. Even though you can go in, you know, even though it's like a hole, it's helpful to sometimes just think of it as a solid to begin with, and then you can do all your little things to make it look like a hole. That's a weird sentence to say on stream. Thunguns, Merry Christmas. How you doing? The overbite in that skull is interesting. It is. Tutata, industry has been looking tough for the past 2 years. Any advice for creatives? I'm in a weird position where this is kind of my job, right? So my advice, I don't know if it's it all depends on your goals. And I've not gone the traditional route, I guess you could say, by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to art. But regardless of how the industry is doing, I'm always bullish on getting yourself out there and your brand out there and creating content that resonates with who you are as an artist versus only the end result, if that makes any sense whatsoever. A burden, appreciate you, lady. I was rushing straight from the gym. That's why I got the tank top on. My gym days always end up being before the streams. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Tutata. Again, my apologies. Names not the best. This I hope you're Viva, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now Ollie's doing well. He's doing well. Prism. What a dickhead. Yeah, it's a fucking Prism. Fucking idiot. Not you, Raphael. Me. All right, and now back to what we were working on. We're exploring what, I mean, you wouldn't have the ears in, but you know what? It's my drawing and I'm going to have ears on the skull. Okay? Nothing you can do about it. Okay? Now, if we're looking at the skull, why is this turning into a letter? This is for me, right? I do this in my head when I'm drawing. So I might do a quick little profile. You know, this is not meant to be, these streams aren't meant to be lessons. They're just meant to be chill and hang out, which they are. And this is, I'm just, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna, this zygomatic arch. Thank you to, I can't remember who said that in Instagram. All right, so the jaw here is going to be underneath that zygomatic arch. So it's going to be inserting, or like it's going to have the hinge somewhere along, like back in here. All right, if we're like x-raying through, it's going to be like hinged somewhere back inside there, not in the eye socket, but if you're looking through somewhere like here. And this is why I reckon, like, whip open Blender or Nomad Sculpt or whatever sculpting tool that you want to do, and get used to some sculpting, because it really hits home some of these ideas. So in saying that, where the jaw is going to be here, this zygomatic arch is going to be, well, this, is it an arch at the front part? I don't know. I'm not one to look for getting all the names right all the time. But trying to show that something's in front and behind. So that jaw is going to be behind. It's going to be back in space, right? And if we think about this tooth cylinder, I guess I've heard it called that a lot. Artistic, how you doing? Ben keeps accidentally making tutorials. It's a curse, I know. Not a bad curse, I guess. Unless I say something wrong because I'm in the middle of trying to figure it out myself. But we can imagine the tooth cylinder, because we're looking on top of it. So these are just my notes, really, like what I do anyway. We're looking on top. It's a cylinder. We see on top of here, this bottom is going to be curved. All right. So then we can do some stylized teeth, but you're not going to do the teeth as if we're looking front on at them. Remember, where are we looking? We're looking on top of it. So we're not going to have our teeth go like straight back as if we're looking front on. All right, we've got to make sure that we wrap that around and understand how they work in 3 dimensions. I mean, you don't have to. You do what you want. It's just what I'm trying to do. Tutata. That's how I feel like saying your name. Tutata. Love how you're breaking down / simplifying the form and angles. Reminds me a lot of the book Anatomy for Artists by Tom Fox. Oh, what a compliment. I appreciate that. Tom, I love that guy's work. Prashant, by the way, the fighter was so good. I appreciate you. Yeah. No, it's good fun. Good fun. Dharmik, good morning to you, sir. All right, so then we've got the bottom jaw, but because, say it with me, we're looking on top of it, we might not see barely any of the bottom teeth. Particularly if there's like a massive overbite like we've got here. All right, and you can then again think of it simplified. If we're looking front on, and this is slightly, so say this is the front of the skull. No, the front of the jaw, you've got teeth here, right? Very simple. Now we look to the side. there could be like this overhang, an overbite, right? So then, if that's the case, and we draw this in 3 dimensions, we've got to take that into account. And we're going to say, okay, it's not going to be directly below here. It's not just going to carry on the same as if it's like on a flat cylinder. It's going to be pushed back. Okay, so this bottom guideline might even be back this far, and then we only see a tiny little bit of that bottom jaw. This is what I'm thinking about here. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm not slowing it down because, again, these streams aren't lessons. These are more just my thoughts and hanging out and whatever. But yeah, that is what I am thinking about. And I kind of like how it's looking now because it was looking a little bit boring before. Tom Fox is so good and so expansive. Yeah, yeah, it's very, very good. Highly recommend checking out his book. Tom Fox, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a bloody good one. Some of it does confuse me a little bit, like but I think that's with every artist or like person that you're following or you're trying to like learn from, even if they're not a teacher necessarily. There's going to be things that the way that they think about stuff doesn't quite mesh with how you think. Like I love the complexity that Tom goes into, but sometimes if I'm trying to break things down, it gets a little bit too complex, a little bit too fast. But that's no fault of his. That's the way that he does it. Like I keep coming back to the knee because the knee is like one of these things that I've just really tried to nail in and get like second nature with it. But the way that I would explain the knee and the kneecap, why is this turning into a fucking lesson? Sorry if this is boring. This is very interesting to me. River Phoenix, thank you so much. Appreciate you popping in. So like with the knee, see, this is how fucking nerdy I am. I get excited about understanding the kneecap and its relation to the tibia. But it's freaking cool, okay? So I think of the kneecap, well, I don't think of it is actually connected to the tibia and the fibula. No, it's not. No, it's not. See, this is why. I'm not held responsible for the things that I say on this stream because I'll say things wrong. The femur, no, it's not even connected to the femur. It's connected to, or is, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Basically, it's a ball or like a little hockey puck that I think of. It's more connected to the tibia, so your shin, right, than it is to the upper part of the leg. All right. So when it hinges, it's going to go down the tibia because it's connected. Is there a way to describe it? So it slides like down. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I can't even remember. I've lost my train of thought. How did we get to the knee? Recently I've been going back to the knee a lot on the streams. But it's tricky, right? Because you've got the upper leg that then hinges on the tibia here, and it kind of rotates and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. If anyone can give me reference to what I was talking about before, that'll be much appreciated, and I can go back and follow my thoughts. But we're just going to go back to the skull because I completely forgot where I was going with this. Lud, how much time passed between your decision and regularly uploading your YouTube channel? I mean, did you have any resistant thoughts? I really want to start a drawing channel about my art, but I keep sabotaging myself. Yeah, all the time I have resistant thoughts about content. Still, even though it's my full-time job, it's like, is this going to perform well? Is this what people actually want to see? But what I've got to start thinking about is following my interests and have a little bit of faith isn't the right word. A little bit of just do the thing, follow my interests, and that's going to show through in the content. It's like now, I've spent the last fucking half an hour talking about the bloody skull, and then I ended up with the kneecap, and for some reason, there's people watching. You know what I mean? But if I tackled this like out of my like natural, or not natural, but like out of my interest, and it was like a lesson, and it's something that I didn't really give a shit about, and it's like, okay, then you have the kneecap here, and then you have blah 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 blah, you know what I mean? Then I wouldn't feel as good about the content because it's just like a little bit formulaic. It's a little bit ho hum ba 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 ba. But whenever I feel that I'm not happy with the content that I'm putting out, it's when it didn't come from a place of curiosity and true like interest in the thing that I was putting out. It doesn't happen often, but that's like a little North Star you could think of. Don't try and copy everyone else. Study other people. Study how and why their stuff does well. I highly recommend doing that. But I think like I use like Adam Savage is a really good example. He'll go off and he'll talk about the most random tool in his bloody tool shed that I'm never going to probably lay my hands on, right? Let alone even see one anywhere or have a use for it. But the passion that he puts into it and the interest and the way that he explains it and why he would use the particular tool, it just, like, I'll watch it. And I think, yeah, having an interest in what you're putting out is a real big thing. Yeah. Rant over. Terry Friedman art. The patella is connected to the tendon of the vastus medialis, one of the quad muscles. You bang on. And also the tibial tuberosity. Exactly. That's the little knobbly bit on your shin, which is that little wedge in the tibia. Bang on, my friend. Thank you very much for the clarification. You said it better than I could. How big is your canvas? Looks spacey. Yeah, it's like 4,000 by 4,000, I think. Darmick, how was your Lightbox event? Bloody... if you're talking about like Lightbox in general, like the one that I went to, bloody amazing. Had the absolute time of my life. And I'm going back next year if I get a table or not. I cannot wait. I tried to see if I could book some flights, but they don't allow you to book that far ahead. So yeah, had a bloody great time. Chibao, how you doing? A Kayla one, decent illustration on the knee. Thank you. It's never boring. Your analyzations are why I love watching your streams. Thank you, Artistic. Saul Goodman, Ford or Stan? I don't understand what you mean. Nateo, people will know when you're passionate about the content you create, and that's what makes people stay. I think so. That's my hunch. That's what I hope, at least. Squall, great advice. Appreciate you. JJR, how you doing? Welcome. All right, so we've gone through the skull of this guy. I mean, this was just meant to be a tiny little bloody warm up, but here we are. So let's go back. Let's get to the main course of what I was wanting to do with this fella. So I did this little sketch yesterday, and what I wanted to do was study the lighting of this image here. What is your procedure on letting go of the line art? I tend to get stuck on moving onto the lighting and rendering stage without letting go of the outlines. It's a sucky, bloody, annoying thing to say, but it is just practice. But I think it's deliberate practice of doing that. Doing things on a smaller scale as well. So it could be just the fact of, or just the practice of like, just, I don't know, draw a foot. All right, draw a foot. Right, it's not a massive work of art. It didn't necessarily take you hours and hours and hours to do. Okay, now work on coloring that. And getting rid of the line work. Do it on a small scale first, so it doesn't feel like such a massive undertaking, if that makes sense. And as you start to do smaller things, maybe then you go into like a head. All right, and then you start, okay, I might, or just even an eye. Start small. Give yourself a little bit of a break, because it takes a long time to put the line work down. And I think there's something to be said about it. You don't want it to like stop you from painting, because there will be like a bit of a resistance there because it took you so long to get the line work just right, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna paint over it. What's the point? All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna be back in 5. Let's just go 3 minutes. Let's not be crazy. And then I do want to get a couple of studies done of the lighting here, which is going to be fun. All right, so we're just going to do a little bit of the old back in 2.2 minutes. All right, countdown timer, off we go. All right, we're back. Can we talk about the knee joint again? Don't threaten me with a good time. You never know, it might come back in. All right. JJ, I just wanted to stop by. Also wanted to say your works gave me so many inspirations that I want to make art again. Bloody fantastic. I'm glad. Okay, let's have some fun, hey? We're back. Well, no. Yes, delete. Okay. So what I want to do here is understand the lighting. Why does this look the way it does? Like, how can we still tell that it's a baseball player in the sun? All right. I think it's got less to do with the color, and it has more to do with the values. Okay. So we're going to play off of that. And I might just do a quick little cleanup of some of the ideas with the sketch here. So I might scale him up just a smidge. Oh, you know what I'm going to do, just for speed, I'm going to take one that I did earlier. File recent baseball dude. So this is a guy that I'm playing around with, like with all the, like it looks traditional, right? Oh, that's pretty cool, like with markers and stuff. So it's pretty, had a bit of fun with this guy. So I'll bring him in here, save us a bit of time because we did go on the tangent of the knee and the skulls and whatnot. So I've started to already think a little bit about the shadows here, but I think we could even do it on a smaller scale. See if we can get the illusion of light happening. So I kind of, first off, I want to give him a frame, I guess you could say, or a vignette. I'm not even sure if I'm using that word correctly. But something that, let's not worry about the color of it at the moment. Something like this. In that value range. Come on, what are we doing here? Something like this. And then I would like to cut him out. So let's even. Just go through quickly. Give him just a white background. Something just to speed us up. Give us a bit of. Now, I wasn't amazingly happy with the pose I've got for him here. He's either going to steal third base or he's going to shoot himself. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this pose. In context, it makes sense, but I think I could have pushed the pose a little bit more, but that's not what we're worried about right now. Could be both as well. He really needs to use the bathroom. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. That'll do. All right. So now we've got some context a little bit, right? Even with that, we've got a little bit of something to work with. Where's the coffee? Appreciate you, JR. Nitakido. How you doing? Welcome. Okay. So what I also want to do is squint my eyes down. Look at this here. I want to be able to group values together. So yeah, it's happening because there's different local values. His skin is different to his shirt, which is different to his gloves. So we want to keep that in context. So let's throw some local values in just to begin with, and this is the magic of digital. We can do this. All right, so I'll do something with this. Excuse me. Where? Oh, it's on delete, that's why. All right, so we can maybe add the skin. Here and here. All right, so now I've got a little bit more context. Let's add another local value for the helmet, or the dark part of the helmet. Sits it a little bit more naturally there. You've got the yellow part, which is going to be a lighter value. That's cool. Now let's see if we can group. What I do want to do actually is come through with the eyes and just, we can still take some liberties. We don't have to do it fully the same. Oh God, fully the same as the reference. We are referring to it. We are not copying it. All right, so I want to pop those eyes out just a little bit so we can still see some of the expression. Now I'm not going to go anywhere near like a final render. I just want to, this is almost like, you might call it I don't know what you call it, just like a study, a little value study, and then we can add some color over the top of it. So now I want to squint my eyes again and see where I can add. I'm going to go multiply, which is going to affect all the layers below in context. It's not going to like wash it. It's not going to be like a normal layer where it's just flat over the top. You're still going to have some context with the values that you've already got there. So with that said, let's see if we can find some of these shapes. These shadow shapes in particular. That's what I'm looking for. I'm grouping them. I'm not trying to get super difficult with them. No shading, like, no smudging, no nothing. And particularly when it's zoomed out, that's going to be a good gauge to see how it's actually working for me. That's what drew me to this this reference in the first place. Pun fully intended. Was the shadow shapes. All right, so he's kind of casting a shadow on himself in a way. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. Cool. I think this whole helmet might be a little bit darker just in general. Nice one. Now, let's add a bit more context in the in the background-ish, foreground-ish. Where you got the grass, which is going to be a darker value. Come on. So we need to sit him. I think this is why it looks nice. There's like a really nice balance between the light values of the dirt. So just even doing that, just boom, 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 adding in that lighter, the lighter dirt gives it even more context. You've got the slightly darker value of the green, the grass, right? And then you got the much darker value in the background of the home run fence. Now we've got something to work with. Now we can start playing with colors. We could have done it beforehand. There's no rules, but this just gives us a little bit of, just a little bit of something to work with, you know. So let's whip a bit of color. Let's maybe do the background. Just using the color layer mode, nothing crazy. And the beautiful thing about this, like grouping our values together as well, is that we can start introducing some subtlety in there now that we understand where they are. Like if you squint your eyes here, like all the shadows grouped together, all the lights like here, why is this turning into a lesson? I don't know. I'm explaining it to myself. But the dirt and the pants and the shirt in the light are kind of, you could group them all together if you wanted to. Sasquatch, this character looks like he's going to emit energy, yeah, out of somewhere. We had film, do you prefer Photoshop over Clip Studio? I think they've got uses. They've each got their own uses. So I like Clip Studio for some of their brushes. Their brushes are really nice. So just let's add in some of this local color. That doesn't make too much sense. And then we can pump the saturation however we want. I kind of want to keep it a little bit more naturalistic, like it's not super out there with the colors. Because we can start the cool thing as well, notice how this has got like a glow to it a little bit. That's the bounce light off of the ground. So we can start playing with colors all over the place. So I'm just giving myself a base. Keeping zoomed out, not going detailed. Way too bright. Makes zero sense. Better. A little bit. I think a lot, yeah, that's a lot better just from a contrast perspective. Now, if we look at what this color of yellow is, like you can kind of tell, you can tell that's like yellow in the background, right? How yellow is it? It's such a like a desaturated mustard in reality. I mean, look at that. Would you even call that yellow? No, but in context, that's yellow as shit. That's good. That's like the yellowest yellow you'd ever get. Maybe I color picked the wrong thing. Yeah. See, look, it's almost like a green by itself. So we can add a little bit of that. I don't want to color pick because I'm trying to learn here. So we can use some of that understanding. Keeping it, I want to keep it actually a little bit lower in value, just so it's not contrasting too much. Really doesn't need to be there, if I'm on it. Let's just nick it off just for the moment. Okay. Character time. Oh, actually, grass here, better. And we could add color variation, I guess. Like that kind of bugs me a little bit. Like I want to add a little bit of this. Taking some cues from Rob Ruppel. My apologies for butchering his name. I'm not going for exact matches as well. I could sit here for hours and get it exactly right. That's not what I'm after. That's not the goal here at all. So just a little bit of color variation. Let's get a bit of color variation maybe in the dirt. Just to spice it up, you know what I mean? We could even do a little bit of this kind of stuff. Just to like break it up a tad. And then what I would do for like the final, well not the final, but if I was to like clean it up, is to think about the transitions between these levels, or these just color blocks, I guess you could say, because there's like a transition here between the green and the blue. And this is just stretching our observation skills. And it doesn't have to be the exact color. That's a beautiful thing about values. And why I'm creating a values course. Values in lighting is called Light Bulb Moments. Go check it out in the Discord. It's open at the moment to anyone that joins the link, because I'm building it in public on the Discord. So you can see it as I'm building it. Cheeky plug there. Ghost, please color. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Value Babe. How you doing? If this is traditional art, color experiments can be messy. They can. Ryan, you're not wrong. But you could also do them smaller. Catch you later, Prashan. Merry Christmas. You filthy... you filthy animal. I appreciate you, Prashan. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. You have a good one. Okay, so let's go into the character now. We've got a little bit more context here with our character with the shadows and whatnot. So what I want to do here, let's just use the color layer mode, okay? I want to observe. We understand that this shirt, yeah, I know, Prashan, I got you. That's okay. Even if you called me a filthy animal, I wouldn't take offense. Here, I'm looking at, like, in my brain, I know that's white. That's like a white shirt. But there's blues in there. There's oranges in there. Why, though? Why are there blues in there? Because of the sky. Okay? So I really want... So then I go and put red there. So I really want to, in the shadows... start placing some of these, and this isn't like the exact best way to, like, the process or whatever. I'm experimenting here. I'm exploring and playing, really. Catch you later, Prasham. Alright, so I'm going to see how much I can get away with color-wise. Can I do this whole thing? Basically everything in shadow that's facing upwards is going to have that, like, bluey tinge kind of to it. In this scene. It's not a hard and fast rule. That used to confuse me so much when someone's like, warm lights, cool shadows. Not always. What if you have a blue light, but the ambient lighting is red? Then that just goes up and it just doesn't make any sense now. So it's all in context. Now, what we can do, we can put our base colors down just as this, like we're using the color layer mode, right? Then we can come over the top and start painting and really start tweaking things. So I'm just going to give myself a nice little palette to work with. So you notice here, I've gone orange. Why? The bounce light up underneath. Alright, I know the Oakland A's have like a really dark olive green helmet. It's a little bit lighter, it's less contrasty than this, but we can do whatever we want at, like, later. now I'm just going to start painting. We've got something to work with. The color layer mode is a little bit harder to work with because I haven't done really subtle values and that kind of thing. So now I'm just going to use my understanding of light to start, still within the clipping mask of this character that we've done. But now I might want to be like, all right, let's really push these darks into the shadows, like really get the darker values in there, and just being conscious of where those shadow shapes are. If we really want to push it as much as the contrast is here. Now I'm leaving the eyes out because it's stylized. I'd like to still see the eyes. I'm going to make them cooler. So it looks a little bit silly at the moment, but we'll get there. Let's go, and it's not going to be like a blue. It's not going to be like, oh, let's make the eyes like blue. No, it's going to be like a really, really desaturated, because they're going to be like in shadow, right? And it might not even look right. And if I'm honest, it doesn't. So it might even be lower in value as well. So we can come here, do the same for the arm here. So this is what I'm trying to find and like search for, are the color pops. Where am I seeing certain colors? Now we don't want to make this a copy. But we also want to take some cues from the reference. I also changed the expression a little bit, so you got the teeth showing here, so maybe they're catching a bit of the light. All right. I suddenly think that I should learn color theory. K44RBON. Hola. Value babe, I'm studying hands right now. Oh my God. My well wishes are with you. Jake Wild, how you doing? Great to have you. Now, with this, I'm trying to keep context with everything that I'm doing here. I really want to keep context. What do I mean by that? Good question. I'm trying to come up with an answer. Give me a moment. So, like here, for example, if I've got the shadow in this sort of value range here with this kind of color, and I know that his neck is also going to be in shadow, I want it to make sense, right? I'm not going to have his neck be that value in the light, because then that doesn't make any sense. Why is his neck going to be lit? Why is his neck going to be light? So as soon as we darken that down because he's in shadow, it starts to make more sense. Andre Zapparoli. Hey, I love your content. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. Mansa A Art, welcome. So it's all got to be in context for it to make any sense whatsoever. Same here. That's why I changed that back arm. Doesn't make any sense. But then you want to go, boom, put it in shadow. Now it's got context. Now it makes sense. So all of these things in isolation don't really make that much sense. And I don't even think that this... Like all these are going to have planes, right? All of these elements on the face, all the features, everything are going to have planes. So where the light is coming from, it's not going to be all necessarily like one value. There's going to be light fall off. So light is going to be less intense. But that means that there's sometimes, depending on the material, there's going to be more color that we can play with as it's transitioning into the darks, like into the shadows. Right? And you can kind of see that here, the transition from like the top lip is pretty desaturated, but it like transitions down. This is still lit. It's still, you're still seeing form here because the light's hitting it, but it's turned so far away from the light that we can see more of the actual material color and how it's interacting. You got a bit of subsurface scattering in there and all that kind of thing, but this is kind of just what I'm thinking about when I'm just seemingly whipping these random colors in here. I'm not. I'm really thinking about, do they make sense? Right, so if we were to do the same here, maybe that ridge or that like tooth cylinder, remember we talked about that with the skull, this whole cylinder here, that's going to be something I'm thinking about. And as it transitions down the side of the face, we might see a little bit more of that color of the skin. We might do. We might not. We might do. Really depends. And then it starts to become like an artistic choice. It's like how far do you want to take it? Like, do I want to put like a bright shine then on his nose? Does that make sense? Does that even look good? You know, does it take away? Doesn't look amazing right now, but this is more of just like a color challenge, I guess you could say. I don't even know what it is. But I'm having a good time. And again, in context, if that is going to be the skin tone, then that arm has got to match. Not exactly, but it's got to be in context of where it is in relation to the light. Now this helmet's shiny as anything, so there might be a massive highlight there. And you can just keep going and going and going and going. Damn, you make it look easy, and it's not at all, but you sure do make it look that way. I appreciate it, Roland. It's not easy. It's definitely not. but it's something that I think that we can all get ourselves towards, at least a way of thinking about this stuff, so that it's not so daunting. And in sunlight, sometimes the more that the material, depending on the material, the more that the material is facing this sunlight, the less saturated it is. You draw a lot. How is your hand health? Fantastic. Thank you for checking in, Tongue Guns. I love how much skull structure you can be seen and felt with just a few of your brush strokes in the face. Yeah, that's the fun part. It's just the little indications of stuff. Just the little indications. You can do a lot with them. So here I really want to reduce the values on this arm, because he's not, so the sun is coming down this way, like here, so it's not going to be hitting his arm bang on, you know, so it's not going to be this bright anywhere on his arm. It doesn't make sense. I think that's a helpful thing as well, is to ask yourself, go back and forth between the artistic side and, or something that I do at least, back and forth between the artistic side and the technical side. Is like, does it make sense? Does it make sense to XYZ? Put this shadow shape here, or this transition here. It might do. All right. This is on a color layer, right? No, this is just straight up painting. This is painting on top of that color layer that gave me a base. If that makes sense. So I can go on top of everything if I wanted to. We've still got... See, if we can remove that completely and still get that kind of feeling of sunlight. The big thing that makes it look like sunlight, at least what I'm like gathering from here, is that blue sky. That's what's missing from the stream. There's no music. I knew something was different. Yeah, I'm giving people the chance to listen to their own music. I'm listening to my own music right now. Red Hot Chili Peppers Can't Stop is on right now. I even like how that bit of sunlight just kicks out just in the background there. It's I don't know, something like that. There's something really nice about it. And now if we wanted to, we could come right in and start noodling away on making sure all this structure makes sense. And to show, like, this is where it started for me in this way of thinking with what ended up being this one. So then you can take it as detailed as you want. Starting really simple allows me to get into the nitty gritty details. All right. And even if you go up super close, it's not that detailed. Like it is, but it's not. It's not rendered immaculately. Like you can still see the scribbliness of it, but then zoomed out, again, it's all in context. Why is there red here? Because the light's bouncing off of her top. It's becoming a light source. The underplanes of these things are going to be getting most of the sunlight. Have I pushed it more than might otherwise be natural? Yes, because I feel like it. But it's like grounded in some sort of reality. So this might seem boring, or it's like, oh, what's the point of doing all this? It gives me the tools to take it to however far I want to. And what I might do, I might duplicate this, merge it all down. Oh no, incorrect. That's not what I want. Let's just grab the selection here. And then we merge that down. So now it's just one layer. Just the one layer. So then we can really start to, if we wanted to, we could get rid of some of the pen lines. I don't really want to. I mean, this isn't going to be some finished piece at the moment, at least. What are we doing here? Also, I made a little script where if I'll release this somehow as well. Maybe not yet, but I've mapped them to the buttons on the pencil, where if I go up, 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 or down, 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 it increases or decreases the brightness, which has helped me tremendously with speed of just getting form down with the Filthy plugin. So it's like, all right, say here on the leg, instead of coming here and adjusting it just a little bit, and then maybe getting that value just a little, not a little bit more, or maybe a little bit, you know what I mean? I can just go here, tap, 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 brighter value, brighter value. I want a little bit darker value down here. So then I can start to efficiently go up and down my value range. But I've also got to keep in mind that it's just going up in value, or like in brightness. It's not messing around with the saturation. Well, it is a little bit. I've made it so if it goes darker, it increases saturation. But it's something I'm playing around with at the moment, and I might release it soon when it's ready-ish. Ray, how you doing? Oh, we're out of coffee. God damn it. I don't know why I'm afraid of pushing colors. Yeah, it's illogical. It's not a very logical thing to be afraid to do it. From what I understand, it's just you're afraid that it's going to look bad because you work everything that you're doing is you're trying to make it look good. And you know that there's a risk there that doing something differently or in a new way or whatever is going to make it look not how you want it to look in the beginning. And that's just it's something that you just got to push through, you know. But I feel that, like I can empathize with you, definitely. Let's just clean up underneath here. Maybe just That might make a bit more sense. Here, I do want to keep some of the scribbly lines in there. It could be nice. And all I'm seeing here in the transition between the light and dark is some of these sort of wrinkle lines, which help show both the form and some of the transitions. But we are in grave danger of noodling, so I don't want to. I've just got to cut it at some point. All right, and then if we zoom out, you could kind of see the similarities there. Color sculpting, trademark 2024. I like it. You drawing any Christmas cards? No. Unfortunately, no. Not this year. Now, what I've said many a time is I want to ground my characters. So we could, even though it's just like a little color study, just make sure that, again, consistency. Have we got his shadow feeling correct? You know? Does it make sense? Why isn't there a shadow there? That doesn't make sense. So let's make it make sense and add that shadow in there. Right. Then you can add I can just come over the top and do some little variations in the grass. If we want to. All right, and then in the background here, there is a little bit of value variation just with how the grass is cut. And it also shows, or it's an opportunity to show some perspective as well, as those like lines will go away in perspective. They'll be going back to that horizon line, etc., etc. Ryan, always wonder what Christmas is like in summer. I've always wondered what Christmas is like in winter. Never seen snow. So that would be pretty cool. It's just bloody hot. It's nothing different. Or it is different, but it's just, yeah, hot. Jojo Maciel, do you have any drawing related New Year resolutions for 2025? Thank you for all your work this year. It was amazing. Appreciate you, Jojo. And thank you so much for popping in. Traditional. Getting really bloody good with a pen. That's a big goal that I've already started. I've already started doing that every day, even if it's just a little bit. Just keeping that habit up. I would like to, also from a content perspective, this is the year of YouTube for me. Really knuckling down, doing less, like the art drops, the physical art drops are going to be fewer and far between because my focus is going to be on content and and the YouTube videos and the streams and all that kind of stuff. I've just got to find that balance. Santa has to change outfit. He does. The Santa that I know in all our marketing has always had like board shorts on and he's surfing. Sugar Beets, how we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, so then we can just go through and refine. But yeah, this is just a fun little test. You squint your eyes, it looks all right. It looks somewhat in line with the reference where we started, with a little bit of context and some sunlight. Yeah. Ghost, I live in Australia. Sugar Beets, I am eating, and when I see baseball, I get bored in my brain so quickly. Well, that's a shame. You're going to be bored rewatching this stream. Rod Line, does Santa wear the big hat and coat there, or is he like in shorts? Yeah, he's in, or he's like in some marketing, it comes from America, so he's in his like usual get up, but then over here you have him like on a surfboard in like board shorts and like a t-shirt or like a shirt, like even like a Hawaiian shirt. Jojo, in Brazil, it's very hot summer season. We eat lots of watermelon. Yep, a lot of caipirinha, an alcoholic drink with fruits. Oh, lovely. And raining. And raining? Interesting. When is the live ending? Not yet. Like, not right this second. No, it will be in a couple of minutes, though. Because we've been going for a little while. Joe, how you doing? Jojo, your colors are so beautiful. I appreciate you, Jojo. No reindeers, but sharks. That's right. Any alternative for Clip Studio Paint, like the Filthy plugin? I think you can get something similar in Clip Studio Paint. It just can't do the hue shifts and the luminance lock. I think you can get the auto filling working. There's a way to do it. But yeah. But yeah, look, I reckon from where we started, Art Ref, how long did it take for you to get your stylist stuff going like that? Absolutely incredible. Appreciate ya. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying to get my stylistic stuff going. But it's been about 2 years since I've started to study it, from doing more like realism. Sugar Beets, you missed it. I'm sorry. That's what the rewind button is for. But yeah, so we went off on you missed it, Sugar, but we went off on a knee tangent. And then we were doing skulls, and I did a sketch that I didn't like, so then I drew the skull, and it looked a lot better. Did some teeth. Right? And then we finished off with a little color study. And with that said, plug time really quickly. Do us a favor. If you like what I'm doing, check out the links below. I'm working on, let me show you. it's in development as we speak. If you want to check it out, go into the Discord, links in the description. I probably shouldn't have this up just in case there's some tokens and stuff that I don't want to share, but so I'm working on one, coding with my good friend Francis, a course platform in a way that I would like it to be set up, so it's like completely custom. And two, I'm also working on a course called Light Bulb Moments. Ugh, god damn it! How can I show this? Because it's in development. No. Staging. It's worth it, I promise. Go check it out in the Discord. Let's have a look. Hold on, give me a sec. Here, this link should work. It's going to be slow because it's in development. Stuff isn't going to work. Let me see. But yeah, it's not released yet, obviously, because nothing's bloody working. We've broken something. Anyway, working on a thing. Light Bulb Moments is going to be all about getting up and running with understanding how light and values work, so you can start manipulating it however you want. All right, so go sign up to that on the Discord. It's in flux at the moment. It's in development. But when it's working, Francis is coming over tomorrow. We're going to sort that out. That's going to be cool. Ghost, haven't figured it out yet, but you can get in while I'm building it. So you can sort of have a cheeky look. Yes, more good goblin energy, more. I love when things don't work. Oh, that makes one of us. Do you have a YouTube video on how to start drawing comic-like characters? I don't. Not in particular. Go check out Ryan Benjamin's stuff. Ryan Benjamin's stuff is pretty good when it comes to that. But yeah, otherwise, check the links in the description. Stylized walkthrough tutorial. You can check that one out. The Filthy plugin, which we used a bit today. You can find that on the website. Links in the description as well. And yeah, you can find me. You know, you're smart people. You know where I am. I mean, you found me right now. So, you know what to do. Did you see any animals this week? Did I see any animals this week? Yes. An albatross, I think. Like a big seagull looking thing. And some crabs on the beach. And a jellyfish. All right. I know what those are. Ryan Benjamin. All right. I need to eat something. I'm starving. Can you show some of your realism stuff? Willio art. Oh, if you want to scroll way far down on Instagram, go for it. You'll find it there. We don't thank Ben enough for these lives. Say, you're welcome, Ghost. I don't thank you guys enough, because without you guys, I don't know if I'd be doing it. All right, so it's a lot of fun. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to hang out with you guys, chat shit, and draw and paint and learn some stuff as well. Thank us more. There you go, Sugar Beats. I'll thank you more. Your live streams are a premium lesson for me. Always learning. Appreciate you, Ryan. All right. Happy Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Have a great break. We're doing this next week. I'm back. It's not, I haven't left, so I'm not back. Same time, Monday, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time. Sunday, whatever it is in your other time zones. I'm in Australia right now. I should figure that out. I haven't. Same time. All right. So with that, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week, or start to your week, or end of your weekend. And I'll catch you in the next one. Toodaloo. Where are all my bloody tabs gone? Okay. Bye-bye.